Before I begin this review for Clair Obscur Expedition 33, I would like to thank all of you who have subscribed to the channel and left such great comments. I would like to briefly explain why I haven't created any videos for the past few months. On September the 10th of this year, my beautiful and dear companion cat Diddy ended her journey with me. She had reached a respectable age of 19 and a half, but tragically succumbed to kidney failure, a common affliction amongst senior cats. Diddy was, and in many ways still is, a very large part of my life. Diddy came to my home at the age of 8 from the Cat Protection Society here in the UK, and for 11 years she was consistently by my side and made my life better every day. It was thanks to her, her unconditional love and affection, that gave me the strength to do things like start this channel. She was the greatest sentient being I have yet encountered on my path through life. It is therefore fitting that the first game that I review after such a turbulent period should be Clair Obscur Expedition 33, which amongst other themes and explorations primarily deals with grief and loss. Released on the 24th of April of this year, 2025, by a relatively obscure, see what I did there, French development studio, founded in 2020, Clair Obscur is Sandfall Interactive's first major release, and what a release it has proven to be, soaring out of left field and taking not only game players but the gaming industry by complete surprise. Clair Obscur is a third-person perspective story-driven role-playing game that takes place in a fantastical world incorporating a Belle Epoch influence towards its artistic style. Belle Epoch refers to a period of French history between 1871 and 1914, which is known for its optimistic outlook. The game incorporates a wide variety of semi-open world areas to discover and explore, with great diversification in terrain, weather and ambience. The majority of these are compact and fairly linear in their design, often driving the player forward to a specific event or objective. But there are plenty of both divergent and hidden paths to keep an eye out for, which often have valuable rewards to gain. All of the numerous environments within the game are beautifully realised by lead designers Guillaume Broche, Michel Nora and their team, drawing from the fantastic work of lead artist Nicolas Maxon Francoum. They successfully incorporate that Belle Epoch style while simultaneously creating their own often magnificent aesthetic. This, coupled with the great use of differing colour palette ideas, excellent use of lighting and shadows, all results in the game having a very distinct individual graphical identity. This reviewer has often described The Witcher 3's artistic style as akin to an oil painting. With Clair Obscur, it is similar in this regard, but a very different type of painting. These numerous and varied environments are bound together by an interactive world map that players can traverse through in miniature form, akin to Gearbox's Wonderlands. There are new areas, items and a variety of enemies to take on in the world map, including some of the hardest boss battles in the game, so watch your step. Clair Obscur utilises a party-based system akin to the majority of Final Fantasy games, and you're able to have 3 companions together at any one time. Within combat you initially start with 3, but if they all die, you then have the opportunity to call in a secondary party of any remaining members to continue the fight. More on combat in a bit. In this reviewer's opinion, the game's main strengths are the game's distinctive graphical identity, the story and the narrative devices utilised, the voice performances, motion capture, character modelling and animation work, and the original soundtrack. We have already discussed the graphical identity above, so onto the story. Spoiler free, of course. Clair Obscur's story is a surreal, both dreamy and nightmarish experience that at its heart deals with grief and loss, the reality of death and its repercussions on those who continue to live. Through the main characters, writers Jennifer Svedberg-Yen, Guillaume Broche and Victor Deliard explore different aspects of this, as well as incorporating other humanistic themes such as love, affection, sadness, etc. in the ongoing narrative between the characters. It was with this aspect of the game that genuinely surprised this player. The boldness and directness to pull no punches when exploring these themes demonstrates a bravery and adherence to truth from the writers that many would simply shy away from. It results in a story that impacts the player in a way that we haven't seen since experiences such as Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. It has to be said that the overall premise for the story, which only really starts to make sense towards the end, is refreshingly original and wonderfully constructed, although it does veer into arty self-absorbency at times, but this is quickly forgiven given what the overall story experience provides. Acting as the interface into this highly emotionally driven and enthralling story are the voice actors. Clair Obscur is a French-made game, and while the French cast, who are primarily responsible for the motion capture work, do an amazing job, and with no slight in mind, here I will highlight the English-speaking cast. The whole cast have delivered an excellent and memorable portrayal of characters that will stay within players' memories going forward. Charlie Daredevil Cox as Gustav, Jennifer Shadowheart Cox as Maëlle, Kirsty Ryder as Loon, Charla Nix as Ciel, Ben Clive Rosfield Starr as Verso, and the legendary Andy Serkis as Renoir all deliver career highlight performances, and for this reviewer, Andy Serkis's portrayal as Renoir was remarkable. Of course, no game is perfect, and it is with one aspect of combat that this player had the hardest time with. Clair Obscur's combat is a turn-based system akin to Final Fantasy. It is a robust and good system, which is complemented by a skill system that initially takes some getting used to. Players can also equip 3 additional new buffs and augmentations that they learn, known as Pictoas. After a few battles, these also become known as Luminous. Players can have as many Luminous as they want, as long as they can purchase them with points that they acquired during their journey, and each Lumina has a point cost associated with it. All of this will make more sense within the game. Anyway, unlike games such as Final Fantasy, enemy attacks must be countered by players in real time using primarily a dodge or a block. Although this would have been a novel idea for a few notable encounters, having to attempt to get the timing right on increasingly difficult enemies really starts to take its toll on the player after a few hours, especially those of us who are getting a little bit more venerable. Towards the game's conclusion, the difficulty of the major boss encounters is such that one missed timing can result in a party wipe, and this may already be minutes into a fight. In addition, some story revelations and additions are locked behind extremely difficult fights. There is of course that elation when you do conquer some of the harder encounters, but personally this player would like Sandfall to rethink its approach to player defense within combat moving forward, especially with regards to a future game set in this game universe. Lorient Testard with Alice de Pourpercière craft an absolute tour de force of a soundtrack, a mesmerising array of pieces from full orchestra backed grandiose choir and lead vocal through to vocal and accompaniment to even music box inspired chime lead themes to mystical ethereal synth based moods. The breadth and scope of the pieces reflects and complements the breadth and scope of the story. Magnificent. Guillaume Broche has led the whole team at Sandfall Interactive to create one of the most memorable virtual interactive experiences of the last decade. Clair Obscur, obscured light, light and dark, yin and yang, the constant balancing of the universe between life and death, for everything will always, inevitably, lead back to zero.